There is always a nuclear option. And if the Lions were to go with that nuclear option to get up to the top 5 in the NFL draft, they're going to have to get rid of somebody. And here's who we think it could be. I'm Mike Payton with A to Z Sports to Trade. Today we're going to talk about why there is a nuclear option for the Lions to try to trade up to the top 5 to get one of the best edge rushers in the class, and why they would have to trade a player away to get that, and that player would probably be Sam Laporta. Now, look, calm down. I know you might be freaking out just by the very thought of this being a possibility, but it could be. And you really have to look at it in a few different ways. The first one is this gets you the chance to get that edge rusher, that premier guy, that elite guy across the way from Aiden Hutchinson, and just really stabilize that defensive line and just be one of the best defenses in the league. Imagine if you could have Abdul Carter on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson. That's a possibility. It's a real life thing that could happen, but you're going to have to give somebody up to get that. And Laporta would be really the only guy that makes sense. Any team that's going to make this type of trade with the Lions, they're going to want a good player. They're not going to want, the third linebacker, the third cornerback. As good as you think Hendon Hooker is, no team's going to trade you a top 5 pick for him because he's just not that. He's just not that guy. The Lions are going to have to trade somebody good. And it's just like, when the Titans traded up with the Eagles, they sent A.J. Brown over there. Tyreek Hill recently got traded for a first-round pick. Aaron Rodgers got traded for a first-round pick. These are some of the guys that are getting traded for these very high picks. So that's why you look at Sam Laporta. The reason I bring him in is because when you look at some of the guys like Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, Jameson Williams, Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, Jahmyr Gibbs, some of these guys that have to get extensions soon, you are going to have to make Aiden Hutchinson the highest paid edge rusher. You're going to have to make Kirby Joseph the highest paid safety. You're going to have to make Jahmyr Gibbs probably the highest paid running back. You're going to have to make Jameson Williams not the highest paid receiver, but a pretty well-paid receiver. You're going to have to make Brian Branch one of the highest paid safeties. If, he's probably number 2 right after Kirby Joseph. You have to make all these guys, not just well-paid, not high-paid guys, but like the highest paid guys. These are some of the best players at their market. And when it comes time for them to get contracts, they're going to get paid. And Sam Laporta is not going to be any different. He's going to wind up being the highest paid tight end in the game. Now, when you think about all the things that you can sacrifice to try to make all those other guys get paid, to have that strong defense, to have all these great things that you want, you start really thinking about, do we really need to have the highest paid tight end in the league? You look at Trey McBride's contract, it was gigantic. It's big. Laporta's going to get more than that. What is the one player that you would be willing to sacrifice? And now, look, I don't want Sam Laporta to go. I'm right there with you. I would love if the Lions were able to pay all these guys and keep everyone, and everybody's happy, and we all, just sleep well at night and don't even think about it. But one of these guys is going to have to go. And you find yourself between Jack Campbell and Sam Laporta. Every time I get to this conversation in my head, it's Sam Laporta or Jack Campbell. And I look at Campbell and I think, how good can he get? And can he be the green dot of this defense? Can he be a very important linebacker, a very important part of this defense? Versus, can the Lions probably find another tight end? And I feel like it's the latter. And maybe I'm crazy for that. But again, we thought it was crazy when they traded TJ Hockenson. But it was the similar situation. They didn't want to have to pay him what he actually wound up getting paid, which was a lot. You have to make the decision at some point. Do you want to be a good team that pays everybody that everybody loves? Or do you want to be a great team that goes out and gets the players that they need at the sacrifice that you lose somebody that you love? And that's kind of the sucky part of this whole business. And again, I don't want Laporta to go anywhere, but this is something that makes sense. If the Lions could trade up to the top 5 pick and it costs them Sam Laporta, they get Abdul Carter and they have 2 unbelievable edge rushers, it's hard not to pay that price. It really isn't. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Maybe I'm crazy, but this is the nuclear option, the last thing you want to do. but it is there. It's break glass in case of Sam Laporta, I guess you can call it. Let me know what you guys think. We'll see you next time.